right, guys, welcome back to
Simply Winning.
Simply Winning with Hunter Franklin, Marcus Taylor, part of Brotherdale Creative.
Yes, sir.
And today, episode 2, the second one out there in the world, called The Winning Mentality.
And what is the winning mentality?
Oh,
What's the ingredients
man.
that goes into it?
The ingredients.
Give me one ingredient.
Oh, little tasty ingredients.
Yeah.
By the way, the Smiling Elephant in Nashville, speaking of ingredients, has
Ooh.
some of the best. Well, they won many awards for the best Thai tea around.
Best Thai food.
Thai food.
Yeah.
The pad Thai. Sorry,
'Cause
not
Thai
the best
would
Thai
be
tea. Gosh,
The other restaurant.
that's a different restaurant.
Yeah.
That's back home. I meant the best pad Thai. Sorry. For
Yeah,
that.
it's
Anyways,
incredible.
it's good. You have to shout out good stuff whenever you have it.
It's authentic.
Very authentic.
Not Americanized at all.
So, winning mentality. Keeping a winning mentality is hard to do all the time. You can't do it all the time.
No, it's not.
But there are things to help with cutting out different spots. So if you can't keep it all the time, what can you cut out to help maximize having a winning mentality? Because one thing we did learn at church one day was joy and it was like joy and like hurt and sadness you can have both at the same time, but like joy is the ultimate ruler. So, but winning is so much better than losing.
It's way better.
Like you can have a winning mentality in a losing situation, and I guess you call that an optimistic person.
An optimistic. Yeah. I think, that's actually a really good point. You can definitely have a winning mentality in a losing situation and come out of that situation learning stuff.
Yeah. But there are people who have a losing mentality in winning situations, and that's when they don't execute.
Yeah. Dude, we're getting up.
Think about that. So there's people out there who they're literally in a winning position.
Mm-hmm.
They've been working, they've been hustling, but they're being negative and they just give up when they're right there. You know the perfect analogy for this?
What?
So when I used to play Minecraft, there's this thing where a lot of people probably might not get this, but imagine this for a second. You're mining deep down in the ground, and it could take like a long time for you to find diamonds, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're just picking away, right? You're just hitting your pickaxe at the stone trying to find diamonds. What if you stopped the block between you and what you're about to achieve? All that work, all that building up just to get down there and to keep going. That's like with life. That's like you keep going, you keep hustling, and then you just give up because you lose sight of what you're going for.
That's so weird because I just listened to Jim from The Office. What's his name? What's his real name?
Oh, shoot. I don't know.
I forget his real name. You guys know what I'm talking about. So he said that he went to New York or wherever he went to go be an actor. I think it might have been LA. I think it was New York, though. And he said he told his mom that he would quit after 2 years if he didn't make it.
Wow.
And his mom was like, all right, perfect. And then he called her after 2 years. Was like, yeah, I'm going to come home. I quit. It's just terrible out here. I'm waiting tables and stuff. And she says, hey, just stick it out to the end of the year. He had it was like September. And he's like, all right, that's fine. 2 weeks later, he got the office.
Wow. And
He's
that
not-
changed his whole life.
Yep. His whole life.
Sheesh.
I saw that yesterday.
So if you're going to set your mind to something, don't give up like Jim was about to do.
Yeah. But he didn't give up. His mom
Or
told him to keep
Jim.
going. And
Whatever his real name
I forgot
is.
his real name, but he's super famous now.
People know him by Jim more than his real name.
Yeah, probably.
Kind of like
But yeah, I think
Little Yachty or
I
something.
think obviously not giving up is a winning mentality. I think we have some notes here. Cutting out procrastination helps you with your winning mentality.
Yes.
So even if it's not like,
give you the winning mentality.
yeah, it helps you a lot. And I
Because
think
procrastination,
it
it
kills
literally
you,
is the
man.
cause of so much stress.
Mhm.
What people like to call anxiety these days. I hate. There's people who throw around anxiety, and I know we do it sometimes, but people throw around anxiety like it's not a big deal.
Mhm.
It is a big deal. Anxiety,
watered
I feel
down
like it's
now
much more
because-
deeper than what people use it for today.
Mhm.
But anyways, procrastination is a big deal, and I feel like people blame it so much more now on social media, TikTok, Instagram, just like getting on your phone and
Well, it's all
causing
made for that.
procrastination.
It's all made to just suck your time
Yeah, it
away.
is.
Yeah.
And that's what we create content for, to help.
It's so true. Get up, stop listening to this and go. No. But yeah, I think that's like a huge thing. And you can never cut out procrastination 100%. It's impossible.
So
Right?
we got 5 tips. You shout out number 1.
Okay, so number 1 would be
Marcus.
put down your phone. That's the number one thing. Like, obviously, that's going to be a big contributor to what you're doing. Obviously, if you're working off your phone, that's harder, and you gotta figure out your priorities and what you're doing. But if you can put your phone down for a while and just get some work done in like 20 minutes, you'll forget about your phone, and you'll be like, okay,
You do.
You're in,
When you
you're
get
in your
in the
like little
zone,
your zone.
when you start,
Mm-hmm.
even though I hated homework, once I started, there's something about simply winning towards just getting it done.
Yeah.
And then you just like execute.
And time kind of goes away.
Yeah.
And you just start, you're in like your little flow.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Sometimes I throw my phone on my bed.
It's
so I have my
hard.
desk like right here, guys. And if people saw the actual setup of this room, they'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Because it kind of looks like a legit spot.
One day we'll show you guys the full like out.
But anyways, I throw my phone on my bed. I get mad at myself. And I don't know if you do this, but I have like this. I'll be scrolling, but I can't get myself to stop. But I know I should. And I'm like, I don't want to do my work. And I'm like, that's such a waste of life.
It'll take you'll be like 30 minutes later, you're still on your phone. And then suddenly like the TikTok little video will be like, hey, you should probably stop on scrolling. And then I keep scrolling.
Yeah. So we have number 2. Don't listen to others. And what we mean by that is our culture is so like, it's okay. It's fine. Like, take your breaks. Take your time. Do what you want to do. Do what feels best for you.
What's your truth?
And that's not always the case. Like, it's such a selfish culture. And yes, you have to be, it's not cocky or it's like being selfish, but still being able to give to others. I feel like selfish is like all you. It's more like you need to hustle for yourself before you can take care of others. Like, how am I supposed to retire my family or retire whatever or give to my grandkids wealth and generational wealth without making it happen? Because I can't give to them without making that first.
That's getting into what I'm putting down right now. I'm literally writing notes on it's the next thing after we talk about this stuff, but your why. That's what you're talking about is your why. Yeah. So that's like the driving force behind all this stuff. We can get to that, but
it's okay to focus on yourself and work hard because your wife needs to do the same thing. So that way you guys can support each other, your significant other, whatever, your parents, your family. The people, oh my gosh. Think about this, guys. So you can be selfish without being like cocky or self-centered. Let me give you an example. We've had this happen a few times now, and it's literally with Uber and Lyft drivers. I'll share one story and maybe you can share the next because I think you were there with me in New York. Yeah. So we're in Boston. We're shooting for Celebrity Sweat. I'm up all night with these guys. Luckily, they get to go to sleep, but I couldn't go to sleep. I had to go to the airport and get on a flight to go shoot a wedding in Chicago. And so I had to take a Lyft at 3 a.m. And I thought it was going to take forever. This guy picks me up and I hear about his story. And just like, why is he here in this country? Because he told me he just like had been over here by himself. His wife, and I don't know if he has kids. He left his home country, his family and his wife to come here to make enough money to support them back home. He hasn't seen his wife in a couple of years because of COVID, but he's over here. So he's being selfish enough to work hard to come here to make enough money to give back to his family. So his why is his family, but he's grinding enough for himself, but to give to others. If that makes sense, just think about that. And so I was like, are you kidding me? This guy literally left his home country and his family to come here to make money. And there's people here who complain about not being able to do anything. It just blows my mind. And then we're in New York, and that guy,
same thing. Basically.
His family. I don't think he's married, but he left his family to come here, and he hasn't seen them in years.
I think he is married.
Is he married too?
Yeah, I think he said he had a wife.
These people.
Yeah, and he's been here for a long time, and he can't get his family into the country.
Yeah. And he's just sending money back home with what he makes.
Yep.
So I tipped this guy in cash. The guy in the early morning. I always try to tip in cash instead of on the app. One, it's not tracked. Two,
and taxes.
I don't know if it all goes towards them. 3, taxes, whatever.
Probably not.
It just helps him out more. Cash helps everybody out more.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Until it all goes to crypto, it helps people out.
And then we get some Bitcoin and some.
Yeah. So that is sorry. That was a long way. Don't listen to others in that aspect of what we talked about. And Marcus has got number 3.
Oh, I was gonna add one thing to that too. Like others, the majority of people are gonna give you bad advice.
Yeah. If you're
They
listening,
will always give you bad advice, no matter if they love you, which will they'll probably give you worse advice on that, which is hard when you're trying to win. If you're trying to have a winning mentality, your loved ones love you, so they want to protect you, so that minimizes their risk or your risk,
yeah,
which minimizes your risk in taking
Yeah.
different avenues to succeed. So
and also it's not always bad advice.
Mhm.
But it's not always the best advice, because let me give one example real quick. Wanting to invest in real estate, and do you know how many people, when I explain that to them, they're like, "Oh, I don't know if you should do that. Like the market's high.
Mhm.
You should just rent, not worry about it. What's fine with where you're at now." And
they'll
those
talk you
people have
down.
never done it.
They'll talk you down out of your money.
They've never done it.
They've never done it. It's
They
not
don't even
even
know. They're 50 plus, 60 plus, 40 plus, whatever years
Mhm.
old. And all they've done is buy a house for themselves and paid off a long mortgage and never really made money off their house.
Yep.
But when I go meet with people who are actually making millions in it, they're like, you need to get in it. Like, you
Yeah.
should have got in it yesterday.
That's the thing. They're projecting what they haven't figured out
yeah.
on you.
So what for a winning mentality, and this is also for getting out of procrastination, is what we're saying, the advice. Like, get good, solid
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah, talk to somebody who has done it and is doing it currently, and is successful at whatever's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you have to don't get advice from somebody who hasn't done it. That's the biggest problem I think that has this in the school system and all that kind of stuff. But that's a whole different podcast right there. But yeah,
So
for
number
sure.
3.
The next one is have a clear vision plan
Yeah.
for what you're doing. If you have a very clear vision, it's going to be very easy to, number one, not procrastinate. Number two, you already know what you're doing, so you have more confidence.
Yep.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Man, having a clear vision is so important, because, and I think clear vision also doesn't mean having some extravagant plan. I think it's having a very clear, concise, almost like the keep it simple, stupid. Like we have so much thrown at us. Everybody's doing so many different things. You can make money in so many different areas. Double down on what you're good at, like Gary Vee says.
Mhm.
Bet on yourself, and you need to have a long-term plan, because our culture's so short-term focused. What can I get out of it so fast? All these rich gurus get
Mhm.
millions right off the bat. If people say, like, I'll teach you how to make $1 million in 30 days, like, unless they got super lucky at the casino or whatever, they're probably just
Definitely lying.
bullcrapping.
Yeah.
Because people who make $1 million in 30 days have worked for it and built it up to where they're making $1 million in 30 days.
I think
we know people who are making $1 million in 10 days.
Yeah.
But they can't go out and just tell you to do that in 10 days. You know what I'm saying?
They
built a company
yeah.
over time that's generating that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And I think also having a clear vision is like, you have to tell yourself, you have to like know what your future self is going to look like.
Yeah.
You have to believe that, and you have to like wake up every single day and like know
no one will believe in it.
What it's going to be. Yeah, no one's going to believe in it. Everyone's going to try to kill your dream because they don't have the same one, or they already killed their dream. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah. So like for me, I know when I wake up in the morning, I know like where I want to be at in 10 years. I know the person I want to be. I can taste it, dude. Like I know, I'm dead serious. Like, I know what I
taste all the
I
ingredients.
know the kind of house I want. I know the kind of car I want. I know the kind of charities I want to give to. I know the people I want to help. I know who I want to retire. My parents. So it's just having that. I think there's a whole other level to having a clear vision. But you need to have those things in your head like they're already done, because then your brain will figure it out.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, and doing that, like they kind of fed into each other here with that.
The organization,
like doing it in order, but organization.
Yeah.
I think Marcus put I'll explain, so I'll kind of let him go again.
Yeah, I think, and you'll understand this. Like, this is like one big thing that causes procrastination. I know we're not only talking about procrastination, but for a winning mentality, if you're organized, if you know what you're going to be doing, like say it's a project or whatever it is, if you're already organized, you have that already kind of laid out. It's going to be so much easier not to put it off, because you don't have to figure it out.
Yep.
It's already done. I think that's a biggest thing that like for like me, especially in college, homework was always like, I got to figure this out. I'm not organized. Like, dang, I want to put it off. Or even like a project that we have a project and I don't know where the footage is at, or I got to go find something or whatever. I'll put it off. I tend to put it off longer because not organized.
Yeah. So organization is super key. We're going to give you guys a little hack here, not a hack, just like what we do.
Yeah.
There's this app called Notion, hashtag not sponsored, but we will be sponsored by you.
We would love that.
We would love that because we don't really see you out there, but we've heard about you. Notion is this amazing app that we use for all of our organization. Our clients loved it. It actually one of our clients, like we just had a organizational structure issue where we weren't getting all the content.
Right,
Well, we
two
had
of them.
well, two of them, but one of them specifically just like where's the content, and so we just really organized everything for them. And that's one thing we're going to be launching soon too, is if anybody out there listening to this, we're going to be offering a paid service to come in and help you with your business of organization, structure, scaling, growth,
It'll
all that
change
type of
your
stuff.
business.
It'll change your business. This right
Like-
here will change your business. And so just like for the Simply Winning podcast, we have outline of it, but it's all organized. So that way we can always go in, go back to it and see what we put
mine's
down.
loaded on my phone, so I can
Yep.
see
So
all
it
the
syncs.
updated notes. From
We're
right
on the
here.
same team. You can invite people.
Yep.
I feel like we just sold a sponsorship right there.
I know. What the heck? That's crazy.
But it's such a good app. And we want to,
Yeah.
that's the thing is, even if we're not sponsored, we will share what's good and what's helping, because why would we hide that? Like, I'm not going to wait for them to sponsor us to tell us that. So.
Yeah. But yeah, Notion is great. Like obviously we had a few clients that organization is great. So a few clients needed better organization from us to know where their stuff's at, to know what's happening, what projects we're working on, what campaigns they need to get done, that kind of stuff. So we went in and we basically redid our whole company with just like everything's laid out perfectly. And now these clients can go in. Literally 2-3 days ago, the client was like, guys, this is great. Everything's working perfectly. We know what's happening. We know where the content's at. We know what needs to get done, what's already been done. It takes so much stress off of you once you know all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I
And
think
so
it's back down. Hold on.
even, what?
Come on, baby.
You're a little too loud?
No, I'm a little bit too quiet.
Oh. So organization, even outside of business, just
There we
for
go.
people who might be listening that need organization in their life, organization is one of those things that can make or break a winning mentality. I really think so, because if having your day structured and organized just helps so much. That's how that's how all these big CEOs are.
Yeah.
Their day's organized, and they have people who they pay to keep it organized for them, which helps.
Yeah.
But think about it. If you have everything if everything's chaotic, it's like a tornado, everything's thrown everywhere, you have to spend time just going and finding what you even have to do. But if you're organized and you know what you need to do and the task you need to get done, what you're going to accomplish for the day, not only is it going to cut out procrastination and help, lower that, but it's also going to help you have a winning mentality, because as you get things done, and if your brain is on a much more clear level, and you'll be simply winning the day a lot more. It's just simple as that.
And you make less decisions too.
You make
during
less,
the day, and it just makes you way more clear.
we make a
You're not
lot of
foggy.
decisions in the day. Not just us, like everybody does, but we make a lot of decisions in the
Yeah,
day.
it's tough. And
Yeah.
whenever it's just laid out and you have a plan, it's way better.
Yeah, and speaking of knocking things out, remember how good you feel when it's done.
This goes for literally
Everything, working out,
everything. It has to do with
editing a
with
video.
having a winning mentality. You have to remember that, because you're never going to want to do the thing that you need to do in the beginning. You're never going to want to. Well, sometimes you will, but like most of the time you won't. 99% of the time, I don't want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's one big thing. Like for me in the gym, I go in the gym and it's like 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, and I got crap to do after. I got crap I did before, and I'm like, I do not want to work out right now.
Nope.
But then I'm like, I'm gonna feel so good at like 3 o'clock when I'm done.
Gotta win.
Yeah. And I go kill it, and then I feel amazing. So I just remember how I feel when I'm walking out of the gym, or when I'm pushing export on that project,
Oof.
or when I'm
That feels good.
or when I'm depositing money into the bank account. It feels incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But it all happened
When we
because
pay ourselves every Monday,
oh man, it's great.
waking up, pay myself, and have a sweet cup of cold brew.
Oh,
There ain't nothing
man.
better than a Monday.
But you remember how that feels, and you'll go out there and get more clients.
Yeah. You know why we decided to pay ourselves on a Monday instead of a Friday? Is because Monday and Fridays don't mean shit to us.
Oh, we're clipping that one. That one's going on the page.
Yeah, that was
That's
threw
so
out a little
true, though.
cuss word there, but I'm being dead honest.
Mhm.
Monday and Fridays don't mean anything
No.
anymore. They used to in school, but when you find out what you want to do in life, just every day feels absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
Every single day. It's just like you get to wake up and you're like, what do I get to do today? I have it mapped out of what I
Yeah.
want to do. Some days, yeah. We talked about it in the intro of like, I got to sit down and edit something that I may not really be super hyped about, but I'm still doing what I love. And I have the option to just walk out and go run or go down the
Mhm.
street. I don't have no boss telling me this
Yeah.
guy's 50%, so I can still kind of do whatever I want.
Yeah. No,
But
yeah,
no,
that's
in
I mean,
all
that's what
honesty,
it's great.
it's just like,
But it's accountability on
gosh.
yourself too.
Yeah.
That's the trade-off. So like your boss, if you have a boss, which probably a lot of you guys do, they're keeping you accountable. So
Yeah.
when you get rid of that guy, then that's you. That's your inner voice. That's your winning mentality that's trying to keep you accountable. And if you don't do that, then you lose.
Yeah.
Immediately. 100%. So yeah, it's a trade-off, but it's great.
Yeah, and that's again why we pair ourselves on a Monday, because
Mhm.
that's, I don't even know. It's just like people think of like, I get my paycheck on a Friday, I get to enjoy the weekend. No,
So we said
we're
we'll do
working
the
14
opposite.
hours on the weekend.
Put it on the Monday, and then it's just so weird. Like a Sunday is a crazy thing for me because I can work on a Sunday or I can chill, but there's nobody like trying to talk to you on a
love it.
Sunday. It's great.
Church and just like,
Yeah.
no one bothers you. But yeah, there's this like, yeah, it's kind of hard because there's a lot of people who are very against like how much we work on a Sunday. Like, I don't know. That's a whole nother topic. I don't know if I want to go into it, but
Oh yeah. I mean, I
whenever
think
you're growing a company and things are happening at this level and speed, it's like I still make time for Jesus every day. Here's the deal is when you make time for Jesus in your life, yes, Sundays are important and going to church, but I feel like why are you trying to tell me what I need to do on my Sunday whenever all you're doing is only visiting Jesus on Sunday? Not just at church, but in your heart.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's deep.
Yeah, I think
And that's
you
a whole
should.
nother thing, but
It's a whole nother podcast, but I think you should always have time with God because He's the only reason why I'm here for sure.
yeah, that's
Like
the only
1,000%.
reason why Brotherdale created a thing.
Yeah. 100%. So that's always a given. If I want to work on a Sunday because I can get way more done because nobody's calling me, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I won't. I'll just chill.
Yeah.
But it's a cool day. But then yeah, going into Monday, yeah, I kind of don't notice it anymore. I really don't notice Fridays. I forgot that it was Friday tomorrow.
And
today.
again, guys, listen. I'm going to take a second here for whoever's watching. Could be, again, 5 people because we're a little bit in this
We're new,
podcast.
yeah.
We are being real.
Mm-hmm.
I could get on here and tell you that on Sunday, I don't do nothing but go to church and praise Jesus all day long. I could do that, but I'm human and I don't. I'm going to tell you exactly what I do because that's what we're here for, to grow and learn. And maybe in 20 years, I realize what we did on a Sunday was stupid. I don't know. But this is life. This is what we're doing right now. We're sharing our story. This is what we want in history.
Yeah.
Of like, everything we're saying is the truth of how we feel, and whether it's wrong, not wrong, but whether we look back in 5 years and we're like, I've learned a lot since then.
And certain
I've
things,
changed
yeah,
a lot.
we'll adjust for
Yeah,
sure. And I think
everything.
that's my goal for this podcast, like
Keeping it real.
being real
Yeah.
as
As the
as
Dickens.
What's his name? Okay.
As Andy Frisella?
Yeah, Andy Frisella. Yep. I don't know how I forgot his name, but yeah, just keeping it real. And everything that we'll say on this is we're not any different than you guys. Like, we're not crazy successful. We have a cool job because we worked really hard for it. We make okay money, and we want to make a lot more financially. Like, that's one thing that drives us a lot. We want to make good money, but also for a good cause.
Yeah, again, your why.
And we're about to
The money's
that.
not the why, but it is a winning mentality.
Money is the only thing that can get you from A to B. Like, the only thing that can help. If you don't have any money, you can't do anything. So that's what it comes down to. So if you don't have any money, then you can just check out because nothing's going to happen.
It's just how it is.
Yeah, but we've been blessed, but we're not special. I don't think we have special traits about us, and we execute on those things. But everything we say is very achievable, and yeah. So
yeah. So
That's
truck
one
the way you feel.
truck the way you feel.
We do like try to keep our cussing to a minimum. We're not like sailors. Shout out one of our friends.
When he goes on the podcast, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah.
Truck the way you feel. Your
Yes.
brain lies to you.
Forget about your feelings.
Yeah.
Like, do not listen to your feelings. It will always freaking lie to you. Did that just flash? I think it did.
Oh no, are we dying?
No, I think we're good. Okay.
We're still recording, right?
Yeah, it's recording.
All right.
So yeah.
My podcast.
Forget the way you feel. This was turned up way too high. Okay.
Marcus over here pressing buttons.
Your brain's gonna lie to you. Basically, your brain's always lying to you. It wants you to be comfortable. It wants you to survive. It wants you to stay in your bed extra long. It wants you to procrastinate. It wants you to do all these things.
That's the thing I got to confess. The getting up lately has just been on like
it's
another
tough.
hour.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I've done both. I've gotten up early, very early for a long period of time. I've gotten up later, no later than 8, no later than 7 normally.
But if you have a winning mentality and you're simply winning every day, you're maximizing.
But I don't think it matters when you get up that much. Obviously, no later than like 8 o'clock. Do not do that. It's stupid. You're an idiot if you sleep later than 8 regularly. You are. I'll tell you that right now. You're an idiot. You're wasting your day. But if you get up at 7, you get up at 8, and you really get after it, that's your plan for the day, then do it as long as you're consistent with it.
Yeah, because listen, one of the greatest videographers we look up to, whatever, Sam Colder. Shout out Sam.
Yeah.
Sam Colder posts most of his best, whatever. Some of his best creative ideas, he said, are actually past midnight. So he is up past midnight, but I'm sure he sleeps in because he needs his rest.
And that's when I say like don't sleep at like if you wake up past 8 or 9.
But that's most people.
But I'm saying like if you're a regular person, like with a regular job, with a regular schedule, and you're sleeping in until 9 o'clock, you're lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if okay, we can say most because of how many subscriptions there are to these things and people watching TikTok and Netflix. If you're up till midnight and you've been in bed for 2 hours just on your phone when you could have been reading or whatever, or just gone to sleep and get up early to kill the day the next day. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about people who have the routine of getting up at 9, but they're staying up till like 1 working. We're talking about the typical people who like, you don't need to sleep until 9.
No, not at all. And
because you're missing out. The morning is special.
The morning's my favorite time of the day.
It is so
that and the evening.
Peaceful.
I love the evening. The middle of the day can just go somewhere else because I hate it. But
so that's that. And then this next one's going to be really fun to talk about. Really fun.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So we listened to this guy named, I will butcher his last name.
Alex Hermosi.
Yeah. He's a part of Gym Launch.
He's amazing. He is the owner.
Gym Launch,
yeah.
Not a part of it. And his name's Alex. And I actually found a YouTube video. We knew about him, but I found a YouTube video that came up in my feed and I couldn't ignore it. And he doesn't have that many subscribers or followers yet, but he puts out amazing info. He has grown they're making hundreds of millions of dollars throughout his different companies and what he's doing now.
He's going to do 80 million this year, I think.
Yeah. So he's generated like a couple $100 million throughout the years. Not like but his goal. And he's talking about his breakthrough from in the 30s of millions to 100. And to someone who watching, and even to me, it's like, dang, 30 million. That's already a lot. But when you think about it, when you know you've been stuck around the 30s and you're trying to just break out of that, that's kind of like being in the 3,000s a month and trying to get to 10K a month. Like, but it's like, dang, going from 3 to 10K is a big jump. Dude,
I was stuck at $5,000 in my savings account back in like 2019 and maybe a little bit. No, not 2019 for like a year. I could not figure out how the heck I just would not pass this number. And then one day I was like, it's my mentality. Like I know I have like a block right now that I believe that I cannot go past 5,000 because 5,000 sounds like a good number. And it was something like in my head, I changed my mentality. Boom. It just shot up.
Your spending saving ratio and expenses.
I just changed the way I thought about it. And then that changed the way what things I was doing. Yep. You know what I mean? And from there on, I was like, okay, once you accept
people with finances, even though I'm not a financial advisor, so every piece of advice I give is not credited. So do not sue us. I'm going to say that right now. But if you need just simple, like, how do I cut back on expenses or stuff like that, just DM me because I love talking about that stuff.
Yeah. And I do too.
Most people are, man, they just.
He's good with the numbers. I'm really good with like the thinking about why you're not doing that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and that was for me. I was just like
whatever works for you,
making weird decisions, but it was all because of the way I was thinking about it. Yeah,
and that goes with so
you want to do this?
Cut out useless people. That's kind of what we were supposed to be hitting at with when we were talking about Alex. He talked about in one of his videos cutting out useless people. And what he's saying by that is All right. Whenever you have a company, we're not at this level yet because I can't cut him out. But I'm just kidding. We're not at that level yet. But when you start having multiple teams and multiple people in those teams and leaders, you got to cut out useless people. He was finding that he had like a whole team of 20 people. And what he found was when he hired this team to solve a problem, it solved the problem, but he never really saw revenue shoot up like he thought it would. And so what he started finding out is you can solve a problem with one person rather than hiring a bunch of people, because when you hire one A player, it makes up for what he said about five B players.
Yeah.
And so whenever you think of an A player, you think of someone who comes, he says, prepackaged. They come ready to rumble. They know how to solve the solution. You do not want to hire people that you need to train a ton on. It's different if you like own a McDonald's and it's more like monotonous type work. Not saying that's easy. I'm just saying whenever you have a company and you're dealing with code and marketing and all this different stuff that takes a lot more stuff and you're trying to solve a problem, you want to get someone who knows what they're doing.
I think there's different people too. Like some people will be a B player and they know what they're doing, but they don't actively solve problems. They don't care about the mission.
Care about growing your business.
Yeah. And you'll never have anybody that cares about it as much as you do, but A players solve problems. They like to solve problems.
They like to.
And they are attached to the mission. You know what I mean?
And then also we learned from Sean Matson, one of our good clients. We've worked with him for a while now. We met him out in person out at his headquarters for his other company called Matbach, which we're going to do a project for. He was telling us that you want to hire someone who hasn't completed it all. Because what happens is when you hire someone who's already accomplished so many different things, unless they're trying to go to another level, when you're trying to hire someone who's already accomplished what you're hiring them for, they just won't work as hard.
Yeah.
Because they've
already done it.
And they feel like
there's
everyone
no chase.
else should do all the work. So he said, try to find someone who hasn't got to that level yet, who's right below where they want to be, and you get them and they will be hungry to get there.
Yeah.
And they're going to, when people, I believe, so fear spreads super fast in the military. I wasn't military, but I read a book, and one of the generals or whatever, he said, I can't remember who said it. He was talking about how fear spreads faster than anything. And whenever I believe the opposite of that, whenever you have motivation and everyone's like in the, let's just kill it, let's simply win every day, it brings along with everybody else.
Yeah.
I believe that.
No, I 100%.
I don't think it spreads as fast as fear. I really don't.
Because
fear spreads
I think
fast.
fear's a real easy way out.
It is.
You know what I mean? There's no problem solving with fear.
Yeah. Just like the stock market dropped, COVID happened.
Yep.
That's when we start clicking in.
Oh, I know. Buy the dip. Actually, we did buy the dip, kind of, for crypto.
So, yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's huge. Where are we at on this?
We can't say much about hiring people, like cutting useless people. We can't give too much on that, and we're being real.
Yeah, I think
we haven't
also
really experienced that much yet, and we haven't really experienced the hire fast, fire fast, or hire whatever that thing is.
hire fast, fire fast.
Like it's basically saying like hire people you know are good, but if you already know, like as soon as they get there after a month that they're not good, you just need to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Fire fast.
Yeah. I think also with this, cutting out useless people, that goes for employees. It also goes for people like that are in your circle. I think, if you have a bunch of people there you're hanging around that don't have a winning mentality, you are not going to have a winning mentality.
Yeah. Your friends.
Just like face it. Like you're not going to have a winning mentality. If your 5 best friends are complainers, you're going to start complaining. Or you're already complaining.
And that's why the Brotherdales, like our group of people, are absolutely incredible.
And the cool thing about our group of people is that they're all at different stages. Like
all of them.
We have like Ryan, who just started his business, right? And then we have Matt, who's already decently successful. He has a name for himself in the wedding industry. Yeah. He's doing his thing. You have Mark, who's just started kind of with his stuff.
Yep.
You have
still in school, grinding it out, football, which is even harder. School, football, and the business. Yeah. We see him editing a lot. Yeah. Honestly, shout out Mark. Like, I didn't think I'd see you editing this much. I'm going to be honest.
He's a stud.
I really didn't. Yeah. Like, but you send Snapchats of actually, like, you editing a whole timeline. It's not like some little video, and you're actually getting it done on top of football and school. I praise
and they're all working hard. Yes. But it's cool because they're all in different stages, but they all have the kind of the same mentality. And that's the cool part about, I think, our friend and group.
Yeah. And guys, there's about to be an explosion soon of Brotherdale Creative.
Yeah.
Like if everything happens of what is kind of like in the works, either way, it's going to be legendary eventually. But if what's about to happen, it's going to be like.
I think everything that's about to happen has to happen at this point because
stars are aligning.
We're making some moves. And obviously on the podcast, we're going to keep you guys updated on that because we love the process, and that should be another thing. I just added a new bullet point.
Love the process.
Love the process, man.
Mentality.
Yeah, you have to in a winning mentality. If you don't love the process, you're gonna hate the process, and then you're gonna have you're gonna be negative about things. You're gonna take losses and not learn from them. You're going to not see opportunities. So if you don't love the process, it's going to be a very big problem.
When you're done doing an activity, especially working out, I get mad at myself when I know I didn't give it my all. Mm-hmm. When I finish a set of reps and I'm like, I did not just go hard like I needed to or do some extra. Like, what am I doing? Mm-hmm. But I wrote down 2 different things for winning mentality. The first one, stop telling people and start showing people.
Mm-hmm. That's huge. That's something that I've definitely fallen into quite a few times.
Stop going to coffee shops and telling everybody what you're going to do and go show them what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Like Drake said, what did he say in his new song?
He said Nike doesn't. Hold on.
Let me pull up the lyrics. You kind of talk about
this. Yeah, I'll talk about this. So I think to stop telling people, start showing people, that is a huge thing where people, they'll go to a coffee shop and they'll get their stuff out and they just want to be around people and people can see them doing their thing and whatnot. But when you cut that out and you just start doing stuff and then people are like, dang, that man works. If you're known for somebody who works hard, it's because you stopped telling people this crap and you started doing stuff. And that is a huge, huge difference between
found it.
Yeah.
It's by Smiley, but Drake's on it. He says, Nike don't pay me to tell you just do it. They pay me to show you I'll do it again.
Yeah, that's a deep line if you think about it.
Think about it. Nike don't pay me to tell you just do it. They pay me to show you I'll do it again. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Coming from a guy who got Artist of the Century? Mm-hmm. Or Artist of the Decade? Not Artist of the Century. There's no way.
No, Artist of the Decade probably. I don't know, but I think that when you
Drake was named Artist of the Decade at the Billboard. I was going to say Artist of the Century. Alongside a cohort of close friends and family, only 2 artists have received the accolade before him, Mariah Carey and Eminem. And those are really good people.
Wow.
So, Drake is just...
When you start doing this, when you start showing people instead of telling people, that will bleed over into your personal life. That will bleed over into your business, or if you have a company, whatever you're doing, it'll bleed over to your clients and they'll start seeing like, wow, this man, they're actually about it, Yep.
But that also, like, you need to tell people what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So like, don't contradict that with what we're saying here. Whenever you go network and you go out in public, people need to know who you are.
Oh yeah. 100%.
How am I supposed to know that when I go out, I want to know what people do because that way I can use them for their service. Mm-hmm. If I know this guy's really good at plumbing, who do you think I'm going to call? Because I have a connection with him. He's going to treat me well, and I'm going to treat him well if he ever needs like creative service, right? Mm-hmm. So people need to know who you are and what you do, but stop going out and telling people, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. We've said for a while we might do a podcast, and now we're freaking doing it. We're on episode 2.
Boom. We actually recorded one earlier, so.
Catch me when it's episode 100. Like, if I don't make it to 100 on episode, I'm got to be dead, or you got to call me out on social media. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And another thing I wrote down, the difference between you and winning is your own voice in your own head. The difference between you The difference between you and winning is your own voice in your own head. So if you want a winning mentality, you have to think it yourself. Because I tell you what, no one's going to get in your brain and give you the winning mentality. You're not going to read a book and immediately have the winning mentality. You're not going to live Simply Winning by Hunter and Marcus and have a winning mentality. You have to believe it in your own head and speak it out into existence. You have to wake up in the morning and say, I'm just going to kill the day. I text Marcus. He texts me, kill the day.
In the morning.
And I say, slay the day. I don't know. Yep. say it just different.
with a little
I started saying it with the little swords.
little
Every
sword,
time,
yep.
the little like swords, like slay the day.
Yeah.
Like absolutely just kill it. And that's what we like to say is just like,
Yeah.
it gets us pumped up for the day.
I heard a thing the other day that the guy said that the voice in your head, or the voice that's like telling you like basically your thoughts aren't you, which that sounds weird, right?
It does sound
But
weird.
why would you tell yourself that you can't do it, that you're not good enough, like that you aren't smart enough for this, or you're not going to make the deadline, that kind of stuff? It's not you.
You consider that's not sin. I'm saying that's like evil, like the
yeah.
Some
But think
people
about
say
it,
it's
like
the devil. It's evil. It's like it's the opposite of like just thinking good and thinking about yourself. And we all judge others, but we're the biggest judge of ourselves. And if you can flip that around into being the biggest supporter of yourself, oh my gosh. Think about the power you can have.
Why would you tell yourself negative things? So if you thought like, obviously it is you, but like if you put that in your mind, like that's not me saying that, that's something else. Like I don't want any of that.
Yeah. Be careful. Be real with yourself too, because you could be too optimistic in your head. There's nothing really wrong with that, but what happens is people get too optimistic in their head. They get a not a big ego, but they get too much in their head. And then when it doesn't happen, they get upset.
Yeah.
But when that happens and nothing happens right away, you need to go push further.
And that's the process.
What happens is you'll give up. So when you get too much in your head and then something bad happens, you're more likely to give up than if you supported yourself and you just kept simply winning every day.
Simply winning. Podcast.
Wow.
And the last point we have on here, I think that's the biggest point, most important, because without this, you're not doing anything.
Tell us, Marcus.
Tell us. I'll tell you right now. It's your why. It's your why.
Your why.
Like, why are you doing what you're doing? What's the thing that gets you out of your bed in the morning? What's the thing that you remind yourself of when things are going bad? You know what I'm saying? What's the thing that you tell yourself when you're like, dang, I cannot do this right now, but I have to do it anyway? Because why? You know what I mean? So you got to figure out, you got to know that's crystal clear. What is your why? What's your why right now?
Shoot. My why right now?
Yeah. I can tell you mine.
Well, there's a lot of different whys. Not like, I feel like there's a why for like a few different things, but it all leads to the same thing, which is literally just like living a fulfilled life for my family.
Yeah.
And for living a fulfilled life. I want to know that at the end of the day, whenever I'm 90, 100 years old, that I was like, wow, I lived a fulfilled life. And I was able to impact others along the way. Because like, even like working out, like I want to work out and be healthy. So that way, I want to be an animal. I'm not that strong, but I want to be jacked. You know? But my why is so I'm healthy. And when I get older, to pick up my grandkids and that stuff, it's all centered towards like living fulfilled, happy, family-centered life. I think that's for me. Yeah.
My why is to retire my parents.
Yeah.
And everything that I do will be because of that. That's my end game. If I do that, I don't care what else happens after that. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? And in order to get there, you have to do a lot of things. Like a lot of things need to be set up for that. But yeah, that's my why. That's why I get up. That's why I work really hard. Yeah. And then obviously through that process, you could do a lot of other things. You can help people. You can, give. You can provide for different things. But yeah, I'll say that's my why.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, your why.
And it's a big why. Important. It takes a long time to do that.
Yeah. And
but
by the Newark Jets.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't think that's not his why, I don't think. Gary B.
You don't think so?
No, he has a different why than that. I wouldn't. That's like a more external like thing. You know what I mean? Like it's more like, what's the word for that?
Materialistic?
Hmm?
Not Materialistic?
Materialistic, yeah. I bet you has a deeper why of why he's doing it. It could be.
He'll probably tell everyone when it happens.
Yeah, I wonder what it
Big
is.
secret.
Yeah. But a why has to drive you to where like you have like an emotional response. You know what I mean? Once you have that, then if you have that connected to your emotions, you won't ever stop until that's done. You might not even stop when it's done. Like obviously, when I retire my parents, I'm not going to stop what I'm doing.
Why?
What's his why?
I don't know.
I think his why was similar to that. I think it was to take care of his family like entirely. Like I actively think like I can see like my family go into a private jet. I can see it in my head. I see it every day. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I'll Photoshop for you if you need it.
If you would, that'd be great.
There'd be a lot of kids hopping up on that thing.
A lot of children.
I told my mom that I want to retire, and she kind of laughed and said, "Your dad and I will retire ourselves."
That's awesome.
That's pretty bad at it.
That is actually awesome.
She's like, "We'll be fine."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Dang."
Yeah, and in my, they'd be fine, but like I want.
No,
I think what's his name? I think Ed Milet said that he like there's every like wealthy family you see, they weren't always wealthy. There's always one person that changed their family tree forever. That's what he says in one of his speeches. It's like crazy. And he's like, yeah, I was that one because I came from a regular family, like lower middle class.
I believe we'll be the one.
And someone has to be the one. So who's going to do it?
I'm going to be the one.
Yeah. Why can't you be? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I have when it comes to winning mentality. Obviously, there's way more. This could be a 5-hour podcast.
And start showing us.
Huh? Oh yeah.
It's a long process.
Yeah, it's a long process, but again, we're not perfect. We're preaching to you from not a pulpit. We're not way up, but we do
outlook. We
do practice everything we talked about every single day.
Yeah, we don't.
So
we're not just like all of this is something. Some of this, like I thought was pretty good that we came up with, but some of this is like cookie cut, perfect thing to say sometimes. Whenever you want to say the right thing, it's kind of like I found myself. Let me give this analogy because I feel like people could connect to this, and you will too. Whenever you're younger. At least I felt this way. I knew when I was at church the right thing to say. And whenever all you learn is the right thing to say, you just start saying the right thing and not living it out. And so with this podcast, we want it to be, it's not always going to be the right thing to say, but it's what we live out in the truth. So when we say things like organization, we spent time and money and could have been working on other stuff to build up organization. We spent time writing out a clear vision. Marcus and I have you'll never meet two people who are business partners that have more of a clear vision and the same plan as we do. You won't. I'm going to say that right now for the whole world.
That is true.
No one is us as us do.
Yeah.
There's no Ed Milet. There's no Andy Frisella. They don't have a business partner that has the exact same vision as we do. I'll just put that out right now. They could literally come fly their private jets to me and we'll show them.
You can clip that.
We have, I don't know how it happened, obviously God, but like we do. And it sounds weird, but we do. It's rare. And whenever we say, put your dang phone down, that is one that we probably don't practice all the time.
Yeah. I mean, no, I don't think anybody does, but it's definitely one that's important. And we do when it comes down, like you have to, or you're not going to get it done.
Yeah.
But everyone on all these things, we mess up.
We've had to cut
and
out
we fail.
some people.
I had to cut out all my friends from college. Literally all of them. You probably watch this podcast. I probably cut you out.
Some of you?
Yeah.
I've had to say no to going out. I've had to say no to doing different things. And it's not just saying no because I got a date tonight. It's saying no because I stayed home and worked for 5 more hours while they're out getting hammered on.
Here's the deal. Like, this is how I think. My friends from college, I could either go out with you and party or I can retire my parents. And I'm sorry, but you're not my parents. So... You know what I mean?
Ryan Reed would say,
that's what it comes down to.
Bad voice crack.
That's what it comes down to. So that's why it's so important to have a why. Like, is that hangover in the morning on a Saturday when you could have been getting stuff done more important than your why?
Sometimes. I'm just kidding.
So, I mean, obviously, like I'm saying, like
Once
not obviously not.
Treat ourselves to have
not on like a normal, like if you're celebrating something or it's a special occasion, whatever. I'm saying like if you're making this a habit.
Broadway wouldn't be a thing if the normal people didn't do that all the time.
Mm-hmm. Is it more important than your future, and how far back are you pushing back what your goals are, what your dreams are, if you're doing that all the time? You could be pushing it back, who knows, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. You never know what you missed because you were freaking being a turkey butt.
Well, there's 50 minutes of goodness in this
Really?
podcast. 50 minutes.
Jeez.
We could keep going, obviously, but again, guys, think of a winning mentality when it comes down to it. Winning mentality is something you really got to push for. It's not going to come naturally, I don't think. I don't think naturally we have a surviving mentality of getting what needs to be done to live and coast. But when you have a winning mentality, that's how our civilizations have advanced. Our civilizations have built empires before. And a winning mentality is a good way to create generational wealth and to retire your parents, just like Marcus's wife.
Yeah.
And so that begins with simply winning every single day.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
There we go, brother.
That was awesome.
All right. Peace out from the Brotherdale Creative co-owners here. We have Hunter Franklin and
Marcus Taylor, and we will do another podcast on this topic with more stuff. It's very broad, but yeah.
If you guys want to connect with us at Hunter C. Franklin on Instagram.
At Marcus Taylor 8 on Instagram. And if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, comment your ideas for the next podcast. Or if you want any certain guests on, we'll try our best to accommodate. I appreciate it.
And if you're a client, if you're looking for, there's two things. If you're a potential client out there that want to work with us, who wants to help take your business to the next level, hit us up at Brotherdale Creative, or email us at, the email is hunter@brotherdaleCreative.com or marcus@brotherdaleCreative.com. And lastly, because this will be launched soon enough where we can say this. Oh, congrats to Max Tuning. Over 5 million sour strips sold. If you want to reach out to us and really scale your creative life and your journey and go from broke to freelancer, whatever you want to call it, please hit us up on Instagram at The Creator Plan.
Yes, launching.
The Creator Plan. That is going to be launching to go from scarcity to cash flow. That's what we're going to be teaching people. Coaching, podcast, courses, and more. We thank you all for tuning in and hope you have a blessed day.